When you hear the name Elon Musk, right, it's not just like, oh, electric cars, rockets,
Hmm.
it's different. He's kind of this larger-than-life figure, you know what I mean? Almost like a character from a movie. And that's what we're looking at today, this whole persona, this life story. You guys send in some amazing stuff on Musk, including this INSAT text. And wow, the more you dig into this guy, the more fascinating he gets.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, isn't it? Like, you can practically draw a line from his childhood right to where he is now. So many of those early interests, they really foreshadow things.
No kidding. I mean, this isn't some kid messing around with Legos, right? This is 10 years old, teaching himself to code, 12, selling his own video game. I mean, were computers even a thing back then?
It definitely shows a comfort level with tech that most kids didn't have, but more than that, it's that drive to create something new, not just use what's already there. That's Musk through and through. That's the
Yeah.
constant.
And you wonder if maybe
Yeah.
those early challenges, did they almost push him harder in a way? His childhood, let's be honest, it wasn't easy. His dad, the bullying he went through, did that create this?
Yeah.
Need to prove himself, maybe?
It's the million-dollar question, right? When you look at how ambitious Musk is, and I mean the scale of it, it's got to come from somewhere. You almost wonder if he took those tough times and used them as fuel. This need to achieve, to conquer, it's relentless.
And he never backs down from a challenge, that's for sure. Even his university years. Queens to Penn, double majoring in physics and economics, intense much. And then Stanford, 2 days into a PhD program, and boom, he's out. I mean, most people would kill for that kind of opportunity.
But Musk isn't most people, is he? He's not afraid to walk away from what's expected, especially if something bigger grabs his attention. And at that point, it was the internet. Academia, that wasn't the frontier anymore. The internet was. That's where you had to be to make a real impact, and that's where you get zipped too.
Which, I mean, some of our listeners might not even remember that. Basically, it was like a digital Yellow Pages, but specifically for newspapers. And it took off. Compaq bought them out in the late 90s, and Musk walked away with, what, $22 million? Life-changing money, right?
For most, it would be retirement time. But Musk, that wasn't an exit, it was seed money, almost. That money went right into his next thing. And that brings us to, well, a little company called X.com. You might know it better as PayPal.
And the timeline, that's what blows my mind. It's one groundbreaking company to the next. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Where does that drive come from?
Some people, they're just wired different, you know? It's not about the money, really, or even the success in the traditional sense. It's got to be about solving these huge problems, making a dent in the universe. And with PayPal, Musk was tackling a real issue. How do you make online payments secure, easy? People forget that was a huge EE deal back then.
And he nailed it, clearly. But Musk, he wasn't content to just, like, revolutionize how we buy stuff online, right? He had bigger, some might say crazier, ambitions. And that's where SpaceX comes into the picture.
This is where those sci-fi books he loved as a kid, they start to become his blueprint. We're not talking about just another Silicon Valley startup anymore. We're talking about colonizing Mars, making humanity a multiplanetary species. That was the goal.
Which, let's be real, back in 2002 when SpaceX started, it sounded insane. People thought he lost it.
Oh, 100%. And the early days of SpaceX, they were, well, let's just say explosions were involved, literal ones.
No kidding. We're not talking about little mishaps here. 3 rocket crashes in a row. That's not just a financial hit. It's
That's
kind of a soul-crushing. Most people would quit right there.
But Musk, he's different. He can compartmentalize like you wouldn't believe. He blocks out the noise, focuses on the big picture. Failure wasn't an option, not if he wanted to get to Mars. And it's that belief, that stubbornness that led to SpaceX becoming the first private company to launch a spacecraft and bring it back from orbit. Let that sink in for a second. A private company, doing what only governments had done before.
Mind-blowing, honestly. But it's bigger than that, right? SpaceX, they changed everything.
Yeah.
Space travel wasn't just NASA anymore. It was like, boom, new sheriff in town.
100%. And that's classic Musk. Find an industry that's stuck in its ways, been doing the same thing forever, and blow it wide open. And it's not just the tech, it's his audacity, this willingness to dream bigger than anyone else.
And that leads us to what might be his most famous venture, at least here on Earth, Tesla. Though a lot of people probably think Musk founded Tesla, right?
It's a common mistake. Tesla, that was Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenting back in 2003.
Exactly. Musk came in a little later. But honestly, it's hard to picture Tesla without him in charge, you know?
It's true. He brought this vision, this boldness. I'm not sure Tesla would be what it is without that. And you have to remember, electric cars back then, not exactly the sleek, high-performance machines we see today. They were kind of goofy, right? Impractical, like a science project almost.
But Musk, He saw something totally different. Not just a car company, but this whole new way of getting around. Sustainable, the future of transportation.
And just as important, he knew how to sell that vision, make electric cool, desirable.
And he went for it, didn't he? I mean, the Roadster, taking on like Ferrari and Lamborghini with an electric car. It seemed crazy.
It was a masterstroke, though. Think about it. Musk could have played it safe, right? Made some practical, affordable little electric car. But would anyone have cared? He had to make electric cool, something people would dream about.
That's what the Roadster did.
Yeah, it was a statement for sure. Tesla was on the map big time. And then boom, the Model S, the Model X, and of course the Model 3. That's when electric cars went from like niche to normal.
Talking about big moments, we got to mention that Falcon Heavy launch.
Yeah.
Not just for SpaceX, but for private space flight in general. Game changer.
Dude, I was glued to the screen for that one. Watching those 3 boosters land at the same time, it was like, what is this, a movie? The whole world was freaking out. That's Musk understanding the power of a good show, right? He gets it. It's not just the tech, it's the story, the drama, that feeling of like, holy crap, did that just happen?
He's a master, no doubt. But back to Tesla for a sec. The Model 3, it was like this shift. You know, electric wasn't just for tech people anymore. It was like everyone wanted one.
And he planned it that way. Musk knew to change the car world, he needed a car for everyone, not just millionaires. The Model 3 was it. The waiting lists were insane. People going nuts trying to get one. The other car companies, they were scrambling to catch up.
It makes you wonder how much of Tesla's success is just Musk himself. I mean, he's not just the CEO. He's like the brand. Always on Twitter saying whatever pops into his head.
Tesla is Elon Musk at this point, for better or worse. He's this maverick genius, the real-life Iron Man. And you know what? It works.
Though all that fame, all that attention, there's a downside, right? He can't even tweet without causing a storm these days.
And that's the flip side. The Musk effect in overdrive, maybe. The controversies, the Twitter wars, the things he says off the cuff that get him in trouble.
Oh, yeah, like calling that rescue diver a pedo guy. Or remember when he was on Joe Rogan, smoking weed? Not your average CEO behavior.
That's Musk. He doesn't play by the rules, doesn't care about being normal. He just does stuff. And sometimes it blows up in his face.
But that's kind of what makes him so interesting, isn't it? You never know what's next.
100%. Keeps us guessing. Love him or hate him, you can't ignore him.
Which brings us to, like, the biggest thing he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Going to Mars. This isn't just cars or rockets anymore. This is the future of humanity kind of stuff, right?
It's both amazing and kind of scary, you know? Humans on another planet. It's always been sci-fi. But Musk, he's serious about it. Like, dead serious.
And he's putting his money where his mouth is, right?
Yes.
Billions into SpaceX, building that Starship rocket, supposed to take people to Mars and beyond.
And don't forget Neuralink. That's his brain-computer interface company.
Oh, right. I was just getting to that. It's like he's got a solution for everything. Climate change, our own brains, you name it.
It's almost too much to wrap your head around, you know? This level of ambition. But then, that's Elon Musk in a nutshell. Pushing the limits, going for the impossible.
He's playing a different game than everyone else, it seems like. While other CEOs are worried about, like, profits and stuff, Musk is thinking about other planets, merging our minds with AI.
And that's what makes him so fascinating. He makes us question everything we thought we knew about what's possible, about the future, about ourselves even.
Yeah, he's a walking, talking disruption machine. Visionary genius or reckless egomaniac, whatever you think, there's no denying he's changing the world.
He's a force of nature, that's for sure. And one thing's certain, this story's far from over.
It's kind of hard to wrap your head around, you know? Everything Musk is involved in, all these different industries, it's like he's building the future, whether we're ready for it or not.
And that's what makes it so interesting. It's not just about the tech. It's like he wants to shake things up, make us rethink what we thought was possible, even what it means to be human.
Totally. It's like he's challenging us to keep up. Remember when he first started talking about Hyperloop? Like, what? Supersonic underground travel? Everyone thought he'd finally lost it?
But that's how he operates, right? Throw these huge, crazy ideas out there and see what sticks. And more often than not, he pulls it off. Or at least gets a prototype up and running, enough to get everyone talking.
The Musk effect in action. It's not just the companies or even the inventions. It's this ripple effect. He forces everyone else to up their game or get left behind.
Exactly. Look at the car companies. Tesla comes along. Suddenly, everyone and their brother is making electric cars. They had to, or become irrelevant. He changed the whole industry.
And he's doing it with space travel, too. SpaceX is making spaceflight cheaper, which means more competition. We're entering this whole new era, and Musk is leading the charge.
Though it's not all sunshine and roses, right? There are some serious questions about where this is all going, especially when you're talking about artificial intelligence.
Right, the whole Neuralink thing. Merging our brains with computers, like,
Right.
super cool, but also kind of terrifying.
And even Musk is saying, hey, watch out for this AI stuff. It could get out of control. We might not be able to put that genie back in the bottle.
It's wild, right?
Mm.
He's pushing AI as hard as he can, but at the same time, he's the first one to say, this could go really bad really fast.
That's the Musk dilemma, I think. We love his vision, this willingness to go for these massive goals, but also he's got so much power now, he could reshape the world in ways we don't even understand yet.
So what's the answer? Is Elon Musk a good guy? Is he going to save us? Or
No easy answers there. He's had a huge impact, there's no denying that. Pushing innovation, pushing all of us to think bigger. But he's also a lot. He ruffles feathers. Whether you love him or hate him, you have an opinion.
And maybe that's a good place to leave it on. More questions than answers. But one thing's for sure, Elon Musk, he's a force to be reckoned with. He makes us think, makes us challenge what we thought was true. And whatever happens next, it's going to be interesting, that's for sure. Thanks for listening to us ramble on about Elon Musk. Keep those sources coming, and we'll keep digging deeper.